Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, June 10th. We are looking at Window Trader's market profile of SPY, IWM, and Triple Qs. And as far as we go in SPY and ES, I don't know whether to say the glass is half empty or half full. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's something interesting. Look at Triple Qs. Triple Qs did not take out its IB the entire day, and here we are in end period, making a new high finally on the day. They had a 10-wide POC. They had higher value all day. Never saw the opening after that flush in C. And they closed above the 340 level. Next stop, all-time highs. A little different story in Russell. They opened. They took out yesterday's price probe, trend day, only to get back through the opening and have another double distribution day to the downside. So that's kind of negative for buyers. They do hold that 228.10 level, but I mean that you don't even want to be near there. I mean they got up to 232 and change today, and we closed at 229 and change. So we came $3 off the highs, and we're just $1 above that very visual 228.10 level. You do not want to get sucked back into that weekly balance. So again, Russell's got to get its act together now. SPY and ES, boy oh boy, what an interesting morning. We open, well, first things first, all those numbers, the ECB meets, the CPI comes out, we're trading at the lows of yesterday, and then all of a sudden, boom, next thing you know, we're trading at the highs of yesterday. We open in value, in balance, and explode above yesterday's balance high and don't look back in A period. And I mean it went pretty damn hard and pretty damn good. B period takes it out but gets nothing for it. So we come above the balance with authority only to give it all back and more and stop on a dime right below yesterday's low. And then come back above the opening and grind up the rest of the day and close above the balance high. So basically what really changed from the last couple of days. I'm going to give the bulls one day of glory and call all three time frames up. But it isn't too impressive. Remember, I treated yesterday as an inside day. We exploded out of it and didn't really get much out of it the rest of the day. In fact, we almost had an outside day down at one point. So the inside day up did not much. We had an outside week up this week. We're only about 80 cents higher or $1 higher than there. 4 days into it, we're $1 higher from last week's settlement. So again, not much. So what has really changed? Not much. They still haven't proven it to me yet, the bulls. If this trend doesn't start getting away, if the buyers don't start getting away from these previous highs, this trend's getting long in the tooth. We're getting some erratic price action right now. So if we keep getting this erratic price action and now start missing out on new all-time highs, I'd be a little wary. I thought this morning in A period, the way they ripped, wow, maybe we have something going here. And boy, was I wrong. And then we come back and just do the whole grind and dump thing when the market got too long and just dump at the end of the day. We end 10 wide. I didn't make a trade after when I got out of a short and F period. That was my last trade of the day. I had a good day, nothing spectacular. So in A period, I took one, when we opened, I'm like, I will take a short against the all-time high and the overnight high. I said above it, I'm out. That's exactly what I did. It was only a small 15 lot put play, 425s, got out of it, lost on it, but it wasn't anything big. I honored what I wanted to do, and boy, was I smart because it ripped. Then in B period, I said, well, look, we're one time framing up. We always use we check off the boxes, right? Higher value, one time framing up, open and drive, above balance high. All the things that the buyers have. Now, I didn't buy up here, but any pullback I bought, any push up I took off. I wasn't thrilled that B took out A's high and never really got any more extension. So I said, anytime I bought it, any push up, I will be taken off. And I did that about 3 times. I probably recycled about 100 calls and had on the 423s and did well. I actually had a small lot left when C took out B's low. I held it a little bit. I said, forget it. And I took it off. So I had a good B period. C period. Now things change. I didn't take the short right away. I didn't even take the short until we really got below A's low. I'm like, wow, something changed here. We're back inside the day's range. Value went from higher to overlapping to higher to unchanged at one point. So I started scalping shorts in C period. And again in D period. And I did well on them. I did the 424s in C. I did the 425s in D. And then I had a little left. I said I was actually contemplating taking a size put play between half back and yesterday's high. I'm like, well, maybe that's all the buy has had, and now we're going to come back, fill the singles, don't get anything, and then we'll roll over and test, maybe, yes, today's low again. Well, I didn't do it, and a good thing I didn't, because all I had was very small left end. I think I had 10 left. I held them through E. I actually recycled some in E too, went up, took some off, so I was doing okay, and I had 10 left, and I said if F takes out E's high, I'm out. It did. Got out, and that was my last trade of the day. Why? Because there's nothing to do. GHIJ, what'd they do? We grinded higher. KLM, what happened? Well, we just took out some of these week longs. There was just nothing there for me. So I had a decent day, and that's it. I watched the rest of the afternoon. So destinations for tomorrow. There's 3 and only 3, again on the upside. Now, one thing to keep in mind is our all-time high for now is finally in the regular trading hours in both SPY and ES. Now, remember, IWM and triple Qs haven't even gotten their regular trading hour all-time high or their overnight all-time high. So 423.69. I'm going to use that as an upside. We closed right around there for the POC, 10 wide. I'm using J as an afternoon rally high just to have something to lean on, 424.10, and then today's all-time high of 424.63. Now, we close it around 423.60 something. You know what my first destination is on the downside? Today's low. So that's important. Even though we closed above the balance high, if we get any acceptance back into it, until we get more MGI tomorrow, there's nothing into today's low. And yesterday's low is right near it. So even though we did a lot of work today, we blew out the price probe, took back the trend day, there's nothing to lean on as a buyer below today's close. So 421.55 is today's low, 421.41 daily low, and you should have all the other ones down to last week's low. And then on the chart, so here's the weekly. And again, by the way, the volume, 49.5 million. We had tremendous price action in A and C, and we're not even at 50 million yet. So even with all this price action, no volume on either side. Here's your weekly. I have been calling it balance. Now, I'm going to call it up. I'm going to give them their due. I want to see how we close tomorrow. If by some chance we give back everything today and close firmly back inside of this balance, I'll probably call it balance to up. But for now, I'm going to call it up. I told you, the monthly's up and healthy. I'm going to call the weekly up. And the daily, I'm going to call it up also. Above this 4-day balance, I'll call it up. Is it getting distance away from further highs? Remember, a trend is young if you keep getting distance away from prior highs. Okay? Like here, you went up, balance. Look at the distance you got. You balanced this whole range. Went up, right? That's what you want to see. If you don't start getting that at some point the trend's getting old, and pretty soon there might be an end to it, at least for the short term. I hope you had a good day trading today. Have a great evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.